What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. First video. So what we're doing today, as you'll see by the title, is we're taking packs bowling on a budget. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to be building a deck for the price of 3 structure decks. So we've all seen, well, I hope we've all seen the 3 structure deck sealed only challenge, and Pack's version of it, where he did sealed only but allowed himself a budget of, I think it was $15 per week US to upgrade his deck, and he then took that deck, upgrading week after week, and eventually topping a I think it was a 120 man extravaganza where he placed 10th. So what I want to do is take the same challenge, get my WCQ Oceania invite, and eventually take this deck that we build over the next few weeks, months, and compete. So I'm doing this with a good friend of mine, Lucas from the Face Downs. You'll see his profile later in the video. And let's get into the deck of choice. So the challenge we're taking is we are starting with a budget of $60, which is New Zealand equivalent to 3 structure decks. A structure deck costs 20 New Zealand dollars, and so with that $60 we're going to build our deck from scratch using singles and upgrading our deck every week with 30 New Zealand dollars. This 30 will include like shipping, that kind of thing, and if we want to play in a hobby, that budget will need to be used for that, accounted to be used for that as well. So looking at the deck we have here, I've decided to go with Prank Kids. So Prank Kids reprinted in Max Gold Eldorado is ridiculously cheap now, so I was able to build essentially a full Prank Kids deck for under $60. My total came to $59.70. So let's just have a quick run through the deck. So my list, you'll see on the screen here, we have the single Pank, a great going second card, only costs 70 cents. We have 3 parallel exceeds, so these are good to chain block our first Prank Kid. It's very important we get our first Prank Kid to go off, so exceed is a way to do that. This card costs, I think it was just over $1 for the common, excuse me, so that's like a good addition to the deck. Then we have we have 12 Prank Kid names, 3 Dropsy, 3 Fancy, 3 Lampsy, 3 Roxy. Pretty standard. I think most lists these days run only 2 Roxy, but you know, we just have to play pure a heavy Prank Kid engine in the beginning. We've got 1 Speedroid Tegatomborg and 1 Speedroid Terratop. So the inclusion of this card basically allows us to put up a negate, essentially, to allow our first Prank Kid to go through. We follow that up with 3 Book of Eclipse. Booking cards at the moment are pretty good, so why not chuck in Book of Eclipse? It was only 80 cents. Non-targeting, flips the whole field face down, so you can't really say no to that. The drawback of Book of Eclipse is that when they get flipped up in the end phase, your opponent gets to draw equal to the number of monsters they control that were flipped up by this effect. The reason why I was okay with this is because we can still use our Prank Kid monsters as fusion material when they're face down, and we can clear their field with Battle Butler. So that's basically the reasoning for playing that card. We've got 1 Call by the Grave, again, get through the first kid. 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Monster Reborn, standard cards in any Prank Kid list these days. We've got 1 Pot of Avarice, so I mean, it was just a cheap card that I could include. I couldn't really think of anything else to put in, to be honest. We've got 3 Pandemoniums. We're playing heavy pranks at the moment. Just is what it is while we're on the budget side, but as we upgrade, we'll be able to modify the deck a bit. 2 Place. So Place is one of the best cards in the deck, which is why it's $6. Only could afford to run 2 at the moment, so we just have to work with that. We're playing 1 Terraforming, so that's an honorary place. That's fine with that. Got 2 Prank Kids Pranks. So So these cards just also help us play through Ash, recycling in our grind game. So needed in the deck. We've got 3 copies of Mistake. Mistake is trap card Droll and only costs 50 cents. Droll's pretty good at the moment, so we'll take that. 2 Hay Trunades, the dud pick because I had I think I had $1 to work with, and I had no back row removal, so I decided to just pick the Hay Trunades for mass removal. And then 2 Ultra Polys. Now, I wish they were regular poly, but I purchased all these cards from one store and that I could pick out from. If I had to pay for regular polymerizations and go to a different store, paying for shipping, I would have blown out my budget. So I decided to start with these 2 Ultra Polys. We'll move to the extra deck. So in the extra deck, we've got 2 Battle Butler, our boss monster. Standard stuff. 2 Rocket Rides. Since we're playing a lot of prankers at the moment, we may as well double up the Rocket Rides. Same goes for Weather Washer. Since we're playing Exceed, we should have a rank 4, and I think Bagooska is pretty good at the moment. If someone if Sword Soul lets me get to 2 Exceeds and I slap on a Bagooska, I think I'm going to win that one. We got the Gossip Shadow for our Speed Road play, and also if you're familiar with the Rocket Ride play, then instead of summoning 2 Dropsies, we can just summon 2 Lampsies to get to a Gossip Shadow. 2 Bow Wow, same as before, just more prankage. 3 Doodles, 1 Meow, and then the 1 Unicorn to spin things back. Having this one of Pot of Avarice lets us spin back these non-prankage cards, so that's pretty handy. Let's see. So yeah, that's the deck I'm going with. It cost me $59.70. And with this, we're going to cook up our friend Lucas from the Face Downs and hopefully take away some wins. You'll see after this, he's got a deck profile of his own. We'll run through that, and then we'll get into some duels for week 1.
All right, now here's the deck. It's Floowandereeze. I personally think Floowandereeze is the best budget deck of the format, maybe rivaled only by Virtual World, but I am opting out of playing Virtual World for the 3rd alternative format in a row. Connor, I love you, but you're going down. This deck is just truly insane. So starting it off, this deck cost me $56.10, a third of which was Floowandereeze and Empen. Lifeblood of the deck, you need 1. You can't get around not paying for it. But you can get around not paying much for Snarl. This was $3, and Snarl does a lot, so happy to pick that up. Also playing Simorgh, Lord of the Storm. This is the poor man's Mega Riser. It was 40 cents. It does something. It's a level 7 or higher wing beast. That's good enough for me. Then I was playing 3 Floowandereeze and Robina, 3 Floowandereeze and Eglin, 2 Stree, and 2 Token. Gotta play some names. These cards are pretty strong. Like, Robina and Eglin should win you the game after a certain amount of time. Moving on to the spells, we've got Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds. This card is insane if you are already winning, but it's one of the only pieces of removal in the deck, so I thought I'd play it at 2. Then we've got 3 Pot of Duality, obviously really good. 2 Twin Twisters, 3 Book of Moon, and a Gold Sark. Thank you, Gold Series, for those reprints. Then for traps, Floowandereeze and the Scary Sea. This card is ass, but it actually does something. It's searchable, and there's a chance Connor is on a deck that just isn't playing any good normal summons. The format in general is not playing very many good normal summons unless you're up against Alistair the Invoker, so I think it's a reasonable card to put into a budget list. A very good card to put into a budget list is 3 Floowandereeze and the Dreaming Town. If you draw this card, you're off to the races. Honestly, your opponent's probably going to stop Empen most of the time. And if so, you can just kind of set this and try again during their turn. It effectively trades for a hand trap a lot of the time. 3 Bottomless Trap Hole. This is definitely cope. It was also very, very cheap. And there weren't a lot of very cheap trap cards to put into this deck. 3 Dogmatic of Punishment, 3 Lost Wind, and 3 Compulse. So that rounds out the main deck. Extra deck is just 3 copies of Wind Pegasus at Ignista. There's nothing else to include. And I hit the budget too hard to include something like Elder Entity. Entis, this is just a punishment target. I am never summoning this card. Connor, it's not looking good for you, buddy. You're going down. This deck, I mean, full disclosure.
Sure.
I did build a deck on a budget.
Yes.
It's $56.70 or something. With the magic of video editing, you'll know all that before you see this part.
Exactly.
But as of today, because I filmed this first, I don't have one of the packages. So I am running Ulti Twin Twisters in the deck. They're my only I swear I bought commons.
Okay.
I'm telling you right, I swear I bought commons. But
Yeah, so we're going up against Floowandereeze, as you'll seen in the deck profile. And of course, all Floowandereeze players open the Robin, so he proceeds to go through his full combo, which was fine up until he impin searches the Floowandereeze and Scary Sea, which kind of cooks me. But you'll see I have a nice top deck here. Alright.
I'm going to set 3, and it's good to go.
Okay, draw. Oh, I'm insane. Standby.
Tap dust shoot.
Main.
Hmm.
Hatred.
Please try this is not budget. Shut up. It's not real.
So yeah, that Hatred made my turn playable because the Scary Sea negates the summon of my Meow Meow, and then I can normal summon 3 times, but what's that gonna do? So the Hatred forces out his trap, he plays his Flunder cards again and summons out the, I believe it's called Smorg, Lord of Storms, which effect is when, I think if a spell card is activated, he can tribute a winged beast and target it to shuffle into the deck, which isn't so nasty for me compared to the Scary Sea. But as you see, I opened up Place and Exceed. So I just go into Baguska. Baguska just turns off both his cards, so I'm able to play freely after that. Don't have to worry about impin, even though I didn't get the search of. Oh, I do get the search of Doodle because I summoned the Baguska before I made Doodle. Just use the Doodle, beat over the impin since I can't banish a card to reduce my attack. So it's really on Lucas to out my Baguska, so I just decide to go into Bow Wow and get Pandemonium ready for if he can out the Baguska, I can then back it up with the Raigeki. But Baguska turns off most of his play, so I can be pretty patient now. As you see, I'm ending with the advantage on the field, but Lucas has, I think, 6 cards in hand at this point. So we'll see what he does. So he normals the Stree and sets 2 pass. Yeah, the 2, so those are the Scary Sea and the things. So I decided to just spam the field. On his turn, I can't use Weather Wash, obviously, Baguska's on the field. But yeah, so that was pretty good. I believe that last set card was a mistake. I just wasn't able to use it. Lucas flips up a punishment here. Gets rid of the Baguska, sends a 1 Pegasus. I have a Call by the Grave, conveniently, so get rid of that Pegasus so I can't get rid of my cards as well. Get rid of some more, turns off his trap card, and I can play freely. And I believe I have game this turn, if I remember correctly. Just let's see. I think the writing's on the wall at this point. I don't have a solid win condition yet because I have no big OTK cards from week 1. So I make a Gossip Shadow just because I can. Use the rocket, bring back my people, get prank set up. Pass it back to Lucas. Lucas has a bit of a think, so he can play. He scoops it up. You know, I've got too much advantage at this point. So we go into game 2 now, and you know, he draws Robin again. So what can you do? Obviously, since it's budget deck and you saw the build earlier, you know, he gets the combo freely. So I have to deal with the Scary Sea again, and a couple other sets. that him drawing the unexplored wins is actually quite problematic because now I can tribute over my cards. So if I wasn't already on Struggle Street, I'm definitely on Struggle Street now. I'm thinking about my plays. I have pranks. I can definitely go straight into Doodle, but there's nothing I can do to get around the Scary Sea. I don't have a fusion spell, so that's the only way I can make some progress. So I just play into it, just get rid of it. I have a set mistake, I believe. But yeah, Lucas starts popping off on my turn. It's not looking too good for your old cheese, but is what it is. It's game 2. So yeah, Lucas has got an insane advantage at this point. Oh no, I didn't have a mistake. I had Book of Eclipse, which got tributed over. So yeah, I think this is an easy L. I take the quick scoop there, and we head into game 3. Not much we could do about that, but it is what it is. The game 3 I get to go first, and of course I draw Place, my trusty companion. So we just do our standard prank kid combo. This is, I guess, the same as for me, that I can play uninterrupted while we're in week 1 and don't have any thing to deal with. I believe my Roxy's draws me into an Exceed. So I go for Bow Wow. Oh, no Exceed for me. I have the Reborn, that's what it is. And so I can get into Baguska, which I'm hoping can shut him down long enough for me to clutch this one out. So I have Mistake, Baguska, and Follow Up. So I feel like I'm in a good position. I definitely should be able to clean this up. But the problem that I had is that I don't have a solid condition to OTK. So when Lucas hits 2 passes, he's able to out my Baguska. And yeah, that becomes a problem. I have the Everest, so I'm able to shuffle a bunch left, draw 2 cards. This is my opportunity to kill, but like I said, it is a struggle to kill, so I just have to play conservative. I call by, again, the Pegasus, because I don't want to deal with that. But let's see, how does Lucas outplay me here? So he has the wins, that's what it is. So he's able to tribute over my cards now, and he has a Toucan, so he adds back and can do another tribute summon because he can do it without searching. The tribute's over a Mistake. He gets to search with the Impen. I'm just doing my classic prankish shenanigans, but does it get me anywhere? We will see, because when he tribute summons, he gets to trigger his trap by banishing sitting on my cards. So now Lucas will search for Lord of, was it Smog Lord of Storm? That's what it's called. Tributes over 1. Beats. We accidentally misplay here because Lucas Smogged away my pranks, but Smog you need to tribute, so that means I get to keep a prank kid set from the previous turn. So when I normal and he pops with my Roxy of Punishment, doesn't make too much of an issue, I think. But of course he can pop off into Snell, and Snell is another book that I have to deal with. But with that unexplored wins, tributing over my cards, it's just big time struggle street for me. So I think I just scoop it up here, because there's nothing much I can do. Take the L. So yeah, that's week 1 done. Lucas cooked me up. Can be like that sometimes, but had fun. Learned what was a bit weak in the deck, which was not having a solid OTK condition. And thanks everyone for staying tuned, checking out the video, and we'll catch you for episode 2.